That's really it as far as rock goes. Did you want to touch on? Did you want to go into other genres at all, or what do you want to touch on? Other artists and stuff like that. What do you want to touch on?
Yeah, didn't you say you wanted to talk about hip hop?
Yeah, I'll touch on some of the some artists that I like. So, bottom line, there are some 1990s artists. Especially if you've been listening to us or watching us for any period of time, we primarily talk about rock and roll, any extent. But I will say this: 90s hip hop is far superior and better than anything that came out from 2002 and up. As far as hip hop, I mean, with the exception of Eminem and Jay-Z, that's really it. My love of hip hop is the 80s and 90s. I'm not a fan of modern day club banging or EDM or hip hop from anything that was mainstream from like 2004 and up. As far as like dance music and hip hop goes and R&B, I'm not a fan of any of it. So let me preface by saying that. But Naughty by Nature is an incredible. They had, they play that song in the Yankees. Hey, oh, hey, oh. They are awesome. OP. I'm not gonna say it on there, but Naughty by Nature is one of those hip hop groups that just is incredible. They some of the best hip hop out there. It was kind of the start of gangster rap in a sense. I don't know if you ever knew about this, Bill.
No, I did not know that.
Naughty by Nature was the start of like the 80s was like fun rap, 90s was like gangster rap, which was like Naughty by Nature, Coolio, Vanilla Ice's Ice Ice Baby. Anyone? Dun 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 dun. You know,
dun, 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 dun. Stop it! Stop! Like boosters, ice, baby.
Dun 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 dun. Yeah, totally. Ice Ice Baby.
Pressure.
Yeah, it's just Under Pressure by Queen. Naughty by Nature is in there. I would say Tag Team. For those you know who Tag Team is, good for you. Tag Team back again. I'm not gonna start doing it, but it's like whoop, there it is. Whoop,
there it is.
That is from the 90s. Let's also talk. They were more the 80s, but we could Run DMC was pretty big still for a long time. Run DMC they were more the 80s, but they had some success in the early 90s as well, which was great. But they Led Zeppelinized hip hop. Truthfully, a lot of 90s artists influenced by them as well. I actually got to meet Darren McDaniels too.
Yeah, he's a comic book artist now, right?
Yeah, DMC himself is now a comic book artist, and he goes to Comic-Con, like the beat driven stuff, like the way that modern hip hop is, or like the trap beat crap that's out there. It's terrible stuff in my opinion. It's not even. It's just talking mumble rap. It's not real rap in my opinion at all. You want to get to know melodic rap and actually pioneering stuff. Run DMC, Naughty by Nature, Coolio, Tag Team. That era of hip hop is just that much better than anything out of today. Truthfully, even oh god, who was it? I know Coolio sung "Gangster's Paradise." You know that song? That song like
yeah, I do.
He sung "Gangster's Paradise." I'm trying to think. I gotta fact check myself. Hold on, sorry. There is forgive me, everyone. I'm not like going into this conversation. I was like, I thought I could do it off the top of my head, but I have some here. One sec, hold on. Who was it? It was the Beastie Boys had a lot of success in the 1990s. How could we forget them? Oh my god, House of Pain.
Gonna go.
Yeah.
You ask your mom, please, but she still says no.
That was like 88, 89. That was awesome. Chris Cross's Jump. It Takes Two by Rob Bass. Come on. Whoop, there it is by Tag Team. Now that we found love by heavy hip hop array, OPP, Gangsters Paradise. So much in the past 20 years. Bismarcky. You're just a friend.
Oh, baby, you got what I need.
You got what I need. Yes. That song is GOAT status. GOAT status. You hear me, all you Gen Z shitheads?
You're
Bismarck,
Gen Z too.
Sorry, was it Gen X? What are they called? Millennials?
Hey, watch it, dude. I'm a millennial.
What are the kids born from 2005 and up?
I think it's Gen Z.
All right, Gen Z, you guys suck. You have no idea what real hip hop is. I'm calling you all out right now. Bismarck, Coolio, Vanilla Ice. This is real hip hop, ladies and gentlemen. This is real. Sorry, Patrick Mahoney, your Jizz World crap, your Juice World bullshit. Okay, Bismarck, baby.
Mahoney have to say.
Listen, full disclosure, modern hip hop outside of Eminem and Jay-Z, that's really like Kanye West, he's terrible. But and Juice WRLD, are you kidding me? The dude is dead. He's not a GOAT status person. He's dead. This marquee night. You want to get to know really good hip hop? 90s hip hop is where it's at. 90s hip hop is where it's at, ladies and gentlemen. You have like even Tupac. Come on, man.
And Biggie.
Dude, you gotta be out of your mind to say that Juice WRLD is GOAT status.
Biggie, can't you see? Don't you try to hypnotize me.
Snoop Dogg, anyone? Snoop
Dogg.
Snoop. Who let the dogs out? Who. We talked about that at one point too.
We talked about a lot of stuff at one point.
Yeah, we're never gonna run out of ideas.
Because remember, we the best podcast.
Well, look, old school hip hop is where it's at. We DJ Khalid, whatever your name is.
They're the best music.
There are so much great old school hip hop, like Tupac, Snoop Dogg. I mean, but yeah, like bottom line though, 90s hip hop is where it's at, ladies and gentlemen. This modern mumble crap that you hear on TikTok nowadays, it's all garbage. It is all the worst music out there today. You want to talk about true hip hop? Tag Team, Vanilla Ice, Tupac, Snoop Dogg. You want to talk about the best hip hop? Biggie. You want to talk about like
NWA?
Oh my God. How can we forget that? NWA. I'm not going to say what they're called, but because they were one of the most pioneering groups out there. Dr. Dre came out of there. Come on. Ice Cube came out of them. NWA. And hold on one sec, Bill. NWA, I'm not going to say what they're called because if you can put two and two together, they are pretty much what they are. So, NWA, ladies and gentlemen, is the most aggressive gangster rap groups out there. If you play any of their songs, you are Straight Outta Compton is a phenomenal album. Straight Outta Compton is incredible, and it was a pioneering album. It took hip hop to the next level. I don't know if you knew about that, but Ice-T and Dr. Dre and all them, this group NWA were unreal. They were incredible, and their music it's very political, it's very direct, it's very derogatory, and it's very against like certain groups and stuff like that. But at the time, it was very factual stuff. So that's bottom line.
There was a
song.
NWA,
Bill, dude, go ahead, Bill.
There was a song by NWA. It's called "The Police."
Yep. That was a big song back then. Yep.
And they were gonna, and at a show in Detroit, the cops said, "You play that, we're arresting you."
And did they play it?
And they ended up playing it. Riot broke out, and they got arrested.
Yeah, they don't. They didn't care. Their music has progressed.
Because they had a message, and they wanted people to hear it. And they're like, "You play that, you're getting off the stage in handcuffs." And they're like, "You know what? The cops said we can't play this, but you know what? We're gonna play it anyway."
Also, not only that, but not only NWA, but But NWA and Public Enemy, do you remember Public Enemy?
Public Enemy.
I don't know if do you know what Public Enemy is?
I've heard of them, but
It takes a nation again, it takes a nation of millions to hold us back. They are you want to talk about politicized rap and bringing a message to the mainstream and how aggressive and how violent lyrics can be. Public Enemy is the king of that. The king of that. In fact, Chuck D of Public Enemy, who's another phenomenal artist, Chuck D and Public Enemy, they were pioneers of the genre. Juice WRLD ain't got nothing on that. Juice WRLD's like a speck compared to this guy. And like people like Jay-Z look up to Chuck D as far as hip hop goes. Public Enemy, for those you don't know, this album called "It Takes a Nation of Millions to Hold Us Back." This album outraged so many politicians, outraged so many parents. Because of the, I'm gonna say this on there because I don't really care. But U2 X Radio, I mentioned this before. They play Public Enemy a lot. They play like Fight the Power and stuff like that. Bono and U2 as a band has always been has their eye on like how what things should be like in their eyes. They had Public Enemy as their opening act for the Zoo TV tour in 1993. U2 had a rap group known as Public Enemy as their opening act on that tour, on the October Baby Zoo TV tour. You want to talk about a badass move? U2 did that. It's just the truth.
They brought what, Public Enemy on their tour, you said?
Public Enemy was the opening act for U2 in the 1990s. Public Enemy was the opening act for U2 on their tour. And U2 had to convince the cops and stuff, saying like, hey, everything's gonna be okay. It's just an act. Like I hate to say this, but the police felt threatened having like in certain cities and stuff like that. U2 was touring stadiums. Like, so they go to Florida, right? Or they go to Texas or whatever. They go to California, they go to New York. All of the cops on the security guards and stuff like that that were on duty all had to be warned. Just want to let you know, Public Enemy is going to be our opening act. And we want to let you know about this ahead of time. That's you want to, so people are like, oh, U2 sucks. Well, U2 is one of the most badass. They're one of the most badass bands on the planet because they didn't move like that. That's incredible what they did. Bono told the story how they had to warn the people ahead of time. Hey, Public Enemy is opening up for us. We need to make sure that everyone's okay, and we reassure everyone of the promotion people, the press, what was going on about how Public Enemy was the opening act. That's a little fun story for you. But Bono said one of the 60 songs that changed his life was Public Enemy's "Fight the Power."
Really, that was one of the that changed life.
One of the 60 songs that changed Bono's life is Public Enemy's "Fight the Power." He said it's a monster track. It dominates the air. And you could think the song sucks. Our majority are people who don't understand the message of a song. The message of the song is incredibly powerful. It's very politicized, but it's very, very powerful. It's about fighting the power. I'm not going to get political, but it's fight the power. A very powerful song. Fight the Power by Public Enemy.
Well, because if you look into
yeah, go ahead.
A lot of these groups are from like the California type era, and you got to understand. Oh no, Public Enemy is from Long Island, but you got to understand, like with NWA, who was from California, like going into the 90s, you got to understand like the racial tensions that were going on back then, like with Rodney King and the LA riots.
Oh yeah, no, of course.
And the racial tensions that were going on. You have to listen to this type of music in historical context.
Oh yeah, if you put it into historical context, it makes more sense. It's more than just a song from the 80s or 90s. It's much more than that. It's got a lot of heavy meaning to it. So, and the reason why they're called Public Enemy.
Exactly.
Like,
Public
what,
enemy.
parents were outraged. Certain political people, like, I'm sure Ronald Reagan was like, "Oh shit, what do we do?" But
Okay, this was a
yeah.
time in the 90s when people were like, think of the children. You know, that lady from The Simpsons who always go, "What's up with children?" Like that happened a lot in the 90s.
Yeah, literally.
But JT, we have to think of the children.
You're funny.